Hi everyone, it's Amy, and I wanted to come on and talk about. I had posted the video where I hear an EVP say Julie, and I took it down. I should repost it, but the thing was I took it down because as I was listening to it, it started to become warped in my brain. So it was like it really is like. Now I don't know if any of you listen to it, so you may not know at what I'm talking about at all. But I had an EVP of two different and I've had more than two, but these were the clearest for me, of an EVP saying Julie. And as you know, my whole lifelong connection to John and seeing him, hearing him, having synchronicities with him, where I have pretty much been down the path of seeking out why. And it always kind of goes back to me possibly being his mother, Julia. And in fact, even on her birthday every year, um, I get a lot of visitations from John and messages, songs, numbers, things happen more than my birthday, which is kind of interesting to me. But anyway, so I have heard more than those two times that I had in the video of a voice saying, kind of whispering, Julie. Now, I've listened to a ton of EVPs. I'm like Kim. I don't know if you know Intuitive View. Kim, she's like the orb lady. I've had a lot of the same orb things that she's had, flashing orbs, different colors, and talking to the orbs and having them react. And I get EVPs, which are electronic voice phenomenon from spirit. And so I'm pretty well versed in listening to and isolating out spirit voices where I know a lot of people wouldn't hear them because why would you? Because you're not looking for that, but I'm looking for it. Um, and so I, both times it was in the same location. It was my morning coffee in the bedroom. And yes, I have John's little picture there and watching TV. And the one time it said, so the camera does this, it's phase in, phase out. And that's a lot of what happens. The spirit is manipulating my camera. And that's often how I get the EVP. They manipulate my camera. So I heard Julie, Julie, and it even had a British accent. And then, I raised the volume and listened to it and isolate it. And sure enough, I hear Julie, Julie, like a British accent. And it wasn't me doing it on the video. It was an EVP. That's the thing. If I was doing it, it would ruin it because then I'd be in make-believe, trying to make myself believe this thing was happening. I don't want that. I want the experiences to happen to me to help me know what's happening and to know that I am indeed connecting with spirit and John in particular. I don't fool myself. I want him or them or whoever to provide the evidence. I'm looking for evidence. So it's not me whispering it. It's always an outside entity. And I believe it's John because it's consistent with him. So I hear it and it says, Julie, Julie, like that. Now I play the one from the old clip from like a week ago. And I was watching this old free movie channel called Cinevault, I think, and they were playing the Al Jolson story. And that's been playing a lot. And I just happened to be sitting in there with my coffee and I'm recording. I just think, hey, let's see if I can get a message from John. So I start recording where his picture is, and a lot of times I'll get an orb or, a click of the camera or whatnot, and sometimes an EVP. So the TV itself in the movie, I didn't realize when I was filming it till after, it says in the movie, Julie, hello, Julie, how are you? Or something like that. And the camera does its thing where it's manipulated by spirit, and you hear Julie, Julie. It's a whisper. It's really hard to isolate from the sound of the movie, which is kind of what I think spirit likes to do, because spirit likes to sort of hijack the other sounds going on in the room. I've noticed that they like it better when a TV is on or a radio than if it's just pure silence. But I have gotten voices from pure silence before. But anyway, so I was taking the walk with Kjarn after I'd posted it, and I listened to it again, and I was like, doggone it, it sounds like it's part of the speech of the dialogue on the TV. It's like, damn it, am I fooling myself? And so, okay, going back to the Yanni Laurel thing. You guys remember that? It's like pre-2020, when everybody was fighting over the black blue dress versus gold white dress, and I saw it like in between. It was the lighting. And also with the Yanni Laurel thing, it was how your volume was if you had earphones on, how sped up it was, and just how it was mixed. And I heard Yanni and then I heard Laurel at different times. It's like two different sounds, and I really feel like that's what a lot of EVPs are, and that's why they get passed over by people. And you probably, all of us have EVPs from Spirit on our phones, because I'm not the only one doing this. So I listened to it, and I'll post it again, and I'll let you decide, okay? I hear Julie. And so what I finally figured out is that the reason why my initial feelings of hearing and sensation of hearing the name Julie, and that is not just part of the TV dialogue, is that the TV dialogue goes on to say something else, and you hear the E at the end of the name Julie still being said. So even though the Julie matches in with the dialogue on the TV, you hear the E at the end, you hear the Julie, and that's where I feel like I knew it was isolated. My initial reaction was correct, and it's a real EVP. The second one, again, is more clear, and look at how the TV conferred when it had "Hello, Julie," and I wasn't expecting that. I didn't plan it. It was all part of the experience. So this is what it's like. I mean, I really would go into this type of work where I record EVPs and do ghost hunts and all that, because I really am fascinated with it. I do it for my own personal experience, to hear like John or whoever. I really like to hear spirit. I think it's fascinating. But I also like to get messages from John, and still trying to figure out our connection. But I feel like I've heard enough of them, and I listened to it enough today to do the Yanni Laurel thing and realize that it is both. There's the TV and there's an EVP, and it's defined by the last vowel of the E, and you could still hear the EVP saying the name, finishing the name, and the TV moves on, it does its own thing. So I'll post this, and I'll repost the video and let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Bye.